This is the plaintiff, Kurt Moorer. He says he was stopped at a red light with his wife and 2 kids in the car, and out of nowhere, boom, the defendant rear-ended him and claimed he dozed off at the wheel. He didn't want to go through insurance, he didn't want to call the cops, and now he doesn't want to pay for the damage he caused. Well, today's judgment day because he's suing him here and now for every penny of the $1,094.34 he's owed. This is the defendant, Obayomi Otiti. He says he may have dozed off for a minute, took his foot off the brake, and tapped the plaintiff's car with his. The plaintiff's car has a spare tire on the back. There was no scratch, no dent, no damage to the car. The opportunist is just trying to get a payday over a little mishap. He's accused of napping and tapping his way into court.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant dozed off at the wheel and rear-ended him. But the defendant says it was a tap and there was no damage. It's a case of tap that.
Okay. Calpo's son?
Yes.
And Mr. Kurt Maurer, you brought your brother-in-law, your son-in-law?
Yes.
Were you in the car too?
He wasn't in the car. I was in the car.
He wasn't in the car.
No.
He owns the car.
Yes.
I got it. You are suing Obayomi Otiti?
Yes.
Okay. For $1,094.34 in damages to the rear end of the vehicle. What happened?
It's pretty simple, Your Honor. We were at a stoplight on our way home, and we got rear-ended by Mr. Otiti in his vehicle. After checking and making sure my girls in the back were okay.
How old are they?
They are fine. There was no injuries.
How old were they?
2 and 4.
Were they crying?
No.
Okay.
They were.
So it wasn't a particularly hard hit?
Wasn't a hard hit, no.
Okay.
No. I had a little neck soreness, but it wasn't anything
Okay.
that I'm going to go to the hospital about.
Okay.
I didn't want to escalate it to that.
Okay.
So we made sure everybody was okay, got out of the car, and, I said, oh, you hit my car. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I fell asleep momentarily, and I apologize. Is everyone okay? I said, yeah, everyone's okay, but, let's pull off to the side. And he's like, well, let's not call the police because I just got insurance. I don't want to have my insurance go up. He said, I'll take care of whatever damage is there. I have no problem doing it. He was very nice. I was like, okay, let's pull off to the side and talk.
Okay.
We were in the middle lane and it's
Now,
unsafe there.
I need you to understand something because perhaps this is your first rodeo, but it's not mine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was it a good idea or a bad idea not to call the police?
In hindsight, it was a bad idea.
Yeah, that hindsight is where we are.
Right.
Because as it turns out, you have since learned several things. 1, he won't pay for the damage. 2, he didn't even have insurance, according to you. Correct?
Well, he said he did at the time. I found out later he didn't.
Wait, and you knew him how long to trust him? Right. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. It's a risk when you don't call the police that exactly this is going to happen. So what happens? You take a picture of his license?
I took a picture of his license. I took a picture of his car and a picture of the registration
All right.
sticker.
Whose car is this?
That's his.
Okay. Is there any damage to his? Yeah, I can see the bent plate a little bit. I think that's a bent plate right there.
The hood, I think, has a crack.
All right. And then you also took a picture of the damage to your car, correct?
The damage
This
actually
one.
is underneath. I had 2 estimates done. There's a reinforcement bar underneath that was bent. That's the
Okay.
the
Is there
scope
any
of it.
damage on this picture?
There's the scuff marks in the bumper and
Are those
underneath-
scuff marks from this?
Yes. And on the tire cover.
Because
that's
scuff
from-
marks don't happen
Well,
from
no, those scuff marks are all, but the scuff mark on the tire.
Okay,
is
we're
from that
referring to these
accident.
2 marks?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Was anything bent in or no?
No, actually, the bumpers are all kind of plastic type, so they go in and then they pop right back
All
out.
right. Do you have any estimates for the repair?
Yes, I do,
While
Your
you're
Honor.
looking for that to show to me, Mr. Otiti, what happened?
I did not know actually what happened. All I had was a bump, on the car, and
What happened? You took your foot off the brake? What happened?
I did not even recollect what happened because
You fall asleep?
we were by the red light, and all I had was the bump, and that really.
Had you fallen
right.
asleep?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know
Did
what
you
happened.
tell him you thought you fell asleep?
Well, I did not. I didn't know what I said at that time.
Okay.
And as soon as the thing happened, he came down and said, "What happened?" I came out too to find out what happened, and I saw that there was really no problem, whatever. And I took the picture of that was the picture you were seeing of my car and his car, and and he told me that he just want to make sure that everybody's okay, and find
Did you
out
have
that-
insurance when this accident happened?
I had insurance.
Okay.
What happened was the insurance, they're about to terminate my insurance. So
I'm sorry. So did you have insurance when this accident happened that would cover this?
I had
So why didn't you just have your insurance, alert your insurance and tell them to pay it?
At that time, since we both checked our both cars and we did not find anything happen at that point, he was ready to let go.
Okay, then he calls you and he tells you, how
So
quickly does he
later-
call you and tell you that he has
an hour later-
$1,000 worth of damages on this what? What is this?
It's a 2009 RAV4.
So later, less than an hour, I got a call from him that, he stopped by some shop and they checked his car and that something was, some bolt was rattling under the trunk, whatever, and he need to fix it, and he's going to cost him about $900. And I said, what? $900? I thought we just left the scene and there was nothing. This was
Okay,
after
so
the
your
fact.
answer to him was what? I'm not going to pay anything?
So, can a tiny tap on a bumper cause $1,000 in damage?
I mean, it really depends what kind of car you're driving. If you're driving a nice car like a Lambo, then,
Well, let's say it's not a Lambo, but let's say it's, just a nice car. Could it cost $1,000?
Probably not.
Well, I mean, what would a bumper cost if you had to replace it for a typical car?
Probably $300 to $500.
You all buying that? $300 to $500?
No. Oh, for the price of a bumper?
Yeah. I mean, and
Yeah,
installation, the
maybe.
whole thing.
I'm not good with cars, but I think $1,000 is a little too much to be, kind of asking for. I don't think that's, I don't know. I think it's a little greedy.
I don't know. Going inside the courtroom.
I told him that whatever he's telling me, I think it's bogus. That was the first thing I said.
What was it you said?
I said that was a bogus.
Bogus, yeah.
For me to pay him $900 when nothing really happened. If something that happened, you should have waited there and called the police so that the insurance
Okay,
can take
well,
care of it.
all right. Number one, you don't deny hitting him from behind. What you're saying is there's not $1,000 worth of damage.
No.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Number two, can you show me $1,000 worth of damage? What you're showing me are two different estimates.
Right.
One is for $1,091 for a rear bumper cover.
No, if read underneath, it also says rear enforcement bar. There's a rear reinforcement bar underneath the bumper that's bent.
That's
I don't know what
$150.
it does.
What is the rear bumper cover that's 4 hours of paint and 3 hours of labor? That's the bulk of this. This is to replace a bumper that I don't see a damage on other than the kind of damage that doesn't happen from this accident.
Well, I didn't take the other picture, but the black
Show
part
me
of
the
it-
other picture.
I don't have the other picture, so.
Oh, what? No, I know.
Okay, no, I understand.
Right. There's no question he hit you from behind. And if he created damage, he has to pay for it. I'm having a little bit of trouble with you telling me earlier that look at the damage on the bumper, because I'm not stupid. I know that that's damage from parking. From, all these scratches are
Right, that's-
back and forth and back and forth. So
Right.
when I told you, well, those are scratches, then you let go of that, and then you told me the damage is on the tire. So I kind of have to, I'm a little bit uncomfortable about that, so I've kind of got to guesstimate at what an appropriate amount for damages would be based on what I'm seeing, because I don't think it's appropriate for him to have to pay to replace a bumper that doesn't have any damage. And also, you also then added another amount of money for wheel alignment. What evidence is there that a wheel alignment's necessary?
I don't have
Because neither
evidence.
estimate says that.
Well, he hit me from behind and the wheel alignment was out of whack. And when
Okay,
I went to
but
Toyota,
neither
they-
estimate
when I went to
includes a wheel
Toyota, they
alignment.
said I
That
needed
was
a
an
wheel alignment.
afterthought, right? Like you got the wheel alignment estimate later, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to rule in your favor, but not in the amount that you want me to rule in. I'm going to rule that while I'm doing that, I'm taking into account the age of the car, the kind of hit this was, the visual evidence of what damage might be, the fact that from the two estimates, basically they were asked, give me an estimate to replace the bumper, give me an estimate to whatever, rather than them having any evidence to look at from an accident. But I know an accident happened, I believe that, and I believe that it was his fault. I just questioned the amounts, just like he did. So I'm ruling in your favor in the amount of $500. Verdicts for the plaintiff. That's my judgment.
So in this relatively simple case, Mr. Atiti, the defendant, come on out here. Sir, you heard the judge's verdict. She's going to make you pay less than half of what he was asking for. How do you feel about that? Think that's okay?
I think it's fair enough because I didn't really think there's really nothing much about. You just want to steal money out of
Get
it.
some money. All right, well, that's the judge's verdict, so that's it for today. Okay, thank you very much. You must sign a few documents. And the plaintiff's on his way out of the courtroom. How you feeling now? You're just not getting what you're seeking.
No, it's how do you believe someone that's lying about insurance and lying about this and that? I came in good faith with the proper estimates, and I think that she ruled incorrectly.
Well, she's been doing this a long time. She made the decision, and you got to live by it. Okay?
I will.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, thank you. Harvey?
You know, Doug, unless the person in the front backs up into you, the person who brings up the rear end, a rear end collision, is always responsible. And the bottom line is that you have to keep a safe enough distance behind the person in front of you so if they do something stupid, you can stop.